The situation in West Asia continues to remain volatile, to say the least. The US and Israel continue to pound Iran. Tehran continues to retaliate. The conflict now, in fact, has extended beyond West Asia. In a massive escalation, the US Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, announced that an Iranian warship was sunk by an American torpedo near Sri Lankan waters. And this marks the first sinking of a warship by a torpedo since World War II. At least 87 people have been confirmed dead by the Sri Lankan authorities so far. Nearly 180 Iranian personnel were on board the warship. As per reports, this is one of the third Iranian warships which has been sunk. Another Iranian warship, which has now taken refuge at the Colombo port, is also vulnerable to a potential attack, as it is technically in a foreign territory.
An American submarine sunk an Iranian warship that thought it was safe in international waters. Instead, it was sunk by a torpedo. Quiet death. The first sinking of an enemy ship by a torpedo since World War II.
While the US had earlier revealed that 50,000 troops, 2,000 fighter jets, 2 aircraft carriers and bombers are participating in the operation, Hegseth has said more troops will arrive soon, asserting that the US will win this war decisively. He also claimed a decrease in the number of missiles and drones being fired by Iran. He also stated that more waves of strikes are coming, aiming to destroy Iran's ballistic missile systems and navy. He added that the US and Israel will achieve complete air domination of Iran within a week's time. That's what he has claimed. With the war now spreading across multiple paths, the casualties continue to mount. Let's just take stock of the situation. Iran's death toll has now surged to 1,045, whereas multiple US military personnel have been killed till now. Israel's intensified attacks have resulted in at least 52 deaths in Lebanon so far. In fact, explosions rocked Tehran as the IDF launched its 10th wave of broad strikes on Iran's capital, targeting paramilitary force, Basij, and international security command centers. The IDF claimed to have downed an Iranian Air Force fighter jet over Tehran. And according to the Israeli army, this marks the first such shoot-down of a manned fighter aircraft by this fighter jet. Footage released by Israel showed the strikes it carried out on an Iranian army helicopter and soldiers who had activated the defense systems. Since the start of the operation, Israel has claimed to have neutralized at least 300 Iranian missile launchers. Meanwhile, Beirut woke up to sounds of huge blasts and drones whizzing overhead as Israel conducted strikes on Lebanon yet again. This time, an underground weapons storage facility and command centers allegedly used by Hezbollah were targeted. Overall, more than 250 Hezbollah targets have been struck over the past 2 days itself. On the other hand, meanwhile, Iran continued to target US assets. For instance, an Iranian drone slammed into a parking lot outside the US embassy in Dubai, sparking a fire. The IRGC also claimed to have destroyed the second American THAAD anti-missile defense system stationed at the base in UAE. Today alone, UAE intercepted 3 ballistic missiles and 121 drones unleashed by Tehran. The conflict has spread to Turkey as well. Turkey's defense ministry has claimed now a ballistic missile launched by Iran heading towards Turkish airspace was destroyed by NATO air defense systems. Israel's Haifa naval base also came under attack from missiles fired by Hezbollah, most of which were reportedly shot down. Similarly, munition debris fell in Tel Aviv, injuring a woman after Iran launched a barrage of missiles. Earlier in the morning, it launched 40 missiles at US and Israeli targets, triggering siren alarms all over Israel. Additionally, an Iranian missile hit the US military base of Al Udeid in Qatar once again. However, Qatar's defense ministry confirming that there were no casualties. It has already downed 10 drones and 2 cruise missiles today. Saudi Arabia also bearing the brunt of what's been happening. Iran's aggression as an Iranian drone reportedly hit Aramco's Ras Tanura refinery, and it has been shut since Monday due to an earlier drone attack. IRGC has also claimed full control of the Strait of Hormuz, warning vessels not to transit the crucial waterway. Nearly 1/5 of the world's total oil consumption, remember, passes through this strait. And this comes in the wake of US President Donald Trump signaling that US Navy could start escorting oil tankers through this waterway if required. Now, Iran has also made it clear that it will not buckle down. Its judiciary chief, in fact, has stressed that anyone who aids Iran's enemies will be severely dealt with. Tehran also ruled out negotiations with the US over a nuclear deal, citing lack of trust in Americans. Listen to this.
We have no trust in the Americans, and we have no basis for any negotiations with them. This is the important point. We can continue the war.
Not all allies are backing the US, though. Very important. For instance, Spain has barred the country from using its military bases as part of its operation against Iran. Even though Trump threatened to halt all trade with Spain, its prime minister refused to become party to the war.
We will not be complicit in something that is bad for the world and that is also contrary to our values and interests, simply out of fear of retaliation from some.
And with Trump asserting that US munition stockpiles are at a record level and Iran's sustained fight back as of now, it looks like an early cessation of hostilities remains unlikely.